Hello YouTubers and Jenny lovers. Alright, so I've been hearing about the 70-80K problem with the turbo oil line to the filter. And let me grab my light. Alright, so I got oil all over the place, primarily under the power steering pump. And down there where that oil line is leading to the turbo, which is common for leaking from what I'm seeing around 70-80K miles. First of all, let's take a step back. This is a 2010 Genesis, and I am the original owner. So I've known about every hiccup along the way, starting with the 3 fuel pump replacements. All right, so obviously it looks like it's that turbo to filter oil line that is splashing oil all over the place in here. At first I thought, hey, maybe power steering leak because it's super wet. You can tell it's super wet. Or even started to suggest timing cover or valve cover because of the area. But after doing research, I realized everybody is replacing these around 70 to 80K miles. Pretty simple. I think you mostly just move the air box and turbo lines. You can pretty get down in there. First I was thinking, oh no, blown head gasket, but I don't think that's it. All right, here's another thing. So probably for about 2 years, 3 years now, I've noticed some strange like shaking while idling, and even worse when the AC is turned on. So I've come to the conclusion, motor mounts. And it turns out everybody is replacing motor mounts on these things. I can't say what miles, maybe 120,000. I'm at 167,000 right now. Okay, so let's take a look here at the motor mount. It's pretty easy too, don't take long. I'm actually just waiting on the motor mounts to get here. I have it ready to replace. Only 2 bolts left. Bolt in each one, actually. So look down there, there's just that one 17 mil. Get some light down there. 17 mil right there. Bam. Looks like it's got a 10 on it. I don't know why it has a number 10 on there, but yeah, that's the motor mount. And as I've looked at it, it's kind of dry rotted in some areas, just pretty much worn out. Both sides. Other side over here, which looks to be a little tricky, but we're just gonna stick motor mounts. Yeah. Okay, driver's side motor mount. Anyways, another 17 out there on top, and then you got 3 14 millimeters on bottom. And the bottom is, it can be a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy to get the passenger side off. You got a rack and pinion down there kind of in the way. Let's get down there and take a look, actually, show you guys. All right. So I've taken the skid plate off. Now you can see the bottom of the pan super wet, and it's, like I said, I believe it's that line. Oil filter's all wet. All these lines are all wet. I thought at one point maybe water pump was leaking, but I'm good on fluid coolant, so and I haven't had to add any, so obviously it's not that. All right, so anyways, if you look up in there, you see them 3 bolts. Bam. Okay. They had nuts on them, but I took them off already. All right, then you got rack and pinion here. Mine is wore out, so we're gonna look at replacing that eventually before I put it back on the road. And anyway, so on this side, I watched another video and a guy actually took this off to 17 mils here, and you don't need to do that. You don't have to. All right. So yeah, 14 mil, 3 of them. And what I recommend is getting you we'll look at it real fast. I call it a wobble. Some people call it something else, but it probably says something else on the packaging. This right here bends in all directions, and you can actually. I saw another guy do it where he took the boot off the rack and come on here. Took that off, which mine's already starting to come off. The reason why is because this is about to get replaced anyways. It's all dry rotted. You can see if I cut the wheel the other way, which is recommended when you're working on whatever side you're working on, cut the wheels out to that side. In other words, instead of it being smashed in right now, it'd be stretched out. That will help with giving you the room. Some of these I actually did not even use a wobble on. I went straight at them. Straight at them with a 14 mil. On one of them I had to use a deep well. I had to make sure to use a deep well because my shallow, which I was just trying to use the shallow just so I had more room to bend up there with the wobble. To try and, on one of them, it would not, socket would not sit all the way on it because of how far the bolts stick out. So I had to go with the deep. Anyways, this is the passenger side. Okay, not bad. And then, so then you come over here, driver's side, like I said, turn the wheel in opposite directions. So now you can see it is stretched completely out. And this one's in good shape, actually. I squeezed on it a few times, never broke or anything. So it's still in good shape on this side, the boot is. All right, and then here is the driver's side. Driver's side. 314 mil bolts, 314 mil sockets. And right here. Okay, so here is the other motor mount, and I suggest you try to pull it out this way if you can see it. It's kind of hard to tell with the camera. Pretty dry rotted right there on the bottom. You can see it. Yeah, so definitely wore out. And anyways, definitely can just come right out. Super easy. You got a lot of room on this one to just pull it right out the back side of the. Right here in front of the transmission, really, and you'll come right by the steering wheel, leading down to the rack and pinion. Okay, yeah, anyways, so waiting on the motor mounts to get here, and then we'll just, I'll probably end up using my wobble, like I said. The thing's super handy. Bolts really ain't that tight on anything. That I haven't tried the 17 jet, but I'm assuming they're not very tight. You can use the wobble, and not have to take all this shit apart. Excuse my language. So yeah, and then you're gonna want to get, after that, you're gonna want to get your jack with a piece of wood, 2x4 or something, block. Set it right on, set your jack right on the pan. Make sure there's a 2x4 in between your jack and the pan. Although my jack has a rubber flat top on it, I still recommend that. I bored that'll lead all the way across the pan. That way you got, all the way across it. Spreading out the weight. And anyways, yeah, then after that you will jack. I'm ready to jack the motor up now. We're gonna leave it. And I'm gonna get my motor mounts till Friday. So, but yeah, once again, there is driver's side, I'm not pulling any of that stuff off to get to that bolt. Should be able to get directly to it. If not with my straight extension, then a wobble. This one looks like maybe trying to fix the camera here. Looks like, man, I almost go straight to it right there. Might maybe have to put my wobble on there, but we'll see. You know, I just don't like taking a bunch of other shit apart if I ain't got to, so wobbles come handy. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm sure there's a lot of people with the same problems as these Genesis. They tend to all share the same problems. That's almost with any car. They all tend to share the same problems. Just like this paint defect. I've noticed other ones around the 2010. It's like they kind of fixed them after that. I haven't noticed any more. That paint flaw on this side just chips away. Anyways, guys, here's the video. Hope it helps. A lot of you guys have actually helped me out on a few things. Yeah, but here you go.